Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will talk about few jargons related to cyber security which we hear in different discussions with different stakeholders, maybe internal or external. Whenever we talk about or whenever we go into the discussion related to the data security and the recommendation comes from the security teams that data should be encrypted. Then in the response or during the discussions, few words we hear. Sometimes the respondent team says, boss, we are doing the TLS, what else you need? Sometimes we hear that vendor is saying we have done the payload encryption. Please let us know what to do. Sometimes our team saying we are doing the database encryption. Now, what do you mean by data security if data encryption is already there? So if we just hear with bit seriousness, these are different words or different terms, or I would say these are the different concepts. When we say TLS encryption or channel encryption, then we say payload encryption, database encryption, and disk encryption. So these are technically different things. Sometimes people interchangeably use these words, but just to make all of you clear about these terms, I thought let me share my views on these jargons. I'm not going into much technical details, but at least I will try to cover basics and I will try to make you understand in bit simple language. So let's talk about data security. So we take the data security into two parts on very high level. One is when data is transmitting and second when data is at rest. So always in our conversations we should very much focus which type of data, in which state of the data we are talking about to secure it. Let's start from data in transit. What is data in transit? Data in transit may be the response of any API call where some data is going as a response. Some users or customers, they are filling some forms and submitting the data. They are applying for something and they are submitting the application forms where they are submitting their username, date of birth, gender, other personal information and submitting. In that case, data is traveling from browser to the application server. In some other cases, data travels from one organization to another organization, app to app server, or over different channels. So then we call that security of the data is important, and in this case, data is in transit. So two type of basically now I am focusing this conversation around the different kind of encryption which we can implement on the data. So for data in transit, first the basic thing is the channel encryption. Whenever someone says that I have done the TLS, I have enabled the TLS protocol, it means they have done the channel encryption. What is channel encryption? In channel encryption, whatever data is transmitted, the complete tunnel is encrypted. They are not encrypting any particular data field. They are completely encrypting the tunnel, and whatever data travels within that tunnel during the man-in-middle attack, hacker cannot see that data because tunnel is encrypted until unless hacker is able to break that encrypted layer, encrypted tunnel, data will not be visible to the hackers. Now sometimes what happens in as a part of this whole data traveling from one place to the another place, certain sensitive data fields travel. For example, your password may be traveling, your PIN number may be traveling, Aadhaar number, or maybe other sensitive data. So whenever such sensitive fields travel in that tunnel, so the recommendation from security perspective is along with the channel level encryption, you should also enable the payload encryption where the particular those data fields will also be encrypted along with the channel level encryption, which we do with the help of TLS kind of protocols. Now what will happen? During the man-in-middle attack, if someone is able to intercept the traffic, someone is able to break the first layer, that is the encrypted tunnel, still they will not be able to see your sensitive data, because sensitive data is again further encrypted via different ciphers or different protocols. So here we see during data in transit two type of encryption. One, the channel level encryption, and second part is the payload encryption. Now we come when data at rest. What does it mean, data at rest? It means either data is kept on your hard disk, for example on your personal laptop, your personal documents, photos, videos, other things are kept on your laptop disk. It is simple form of the data at rest, and when we say data is kept in the disk. Second, someone say that we have the database and data is kept into the database tables. So these both kind of storage of the data comes into the category of data at rest. And when we talk about the security of data at rest, then two terms we hear a lot. One, disk level encryption, and second term is database encryption. First, let me talk about disk level encryption. What happens in the disk level encryption? Your whole disk is encrypted. Whatever is there into the disk, it is into the encrypted format. And this particular kind of encryption basically helps in the case of theft or in the case of loss of the physical asset itself. If I take very simple example, if you have enabled the disk level encryption in your laptop and someone tried to steal your laptop, or someone managed to take hard disk out from the laptop, and that hard disk is connected to some other laptop, and hackers or that person tries to exfiltrate the data from the disk, copy that data from your disk to the another disk, then it will be encrypted. It will be of no use. So disk level encryption provide you the security mainly in the case of physical asset theft or physical asset loss. Now if we talk about database encryption, database means your data is filled into the tables of the database, and within those tables those data fields are encrypted. So it is bit different from the disk level encryption. What is the actual difference? Here your whole disk is not encrypted, but the actual data kept into the tables of the database is encrypted. So if and nowadays physical SAN storage and devices and all the disk, those are not, it is not easy for the corporates that someone try to steal that disk or the storage from some corporate data center and all. So basically now in the scenario of virtualization, so today era of the virtualization, everything is virtual. So even on the storage side, all the corporates are using the virtual volumes to create the database, and into that database data is being kept. So then in such cases, to secure the data, we enable the database encryption. What happens? The data in the database tables get encrypted. So if any unauthorized person gets access to your database, those data fields will be encrypted, and that unauthorized person will not be able to access your data. So guys, I tried to explain these cyber related jargons, especially in the data security domain. One, channel level encryption. Second, payload encryption. Third one, disk encryption. And fourth one is the database encryption. I think it would help you to get the difference among all these four types of encryptions. If some other things also come to your mind, if you want to understand some more details around the cryptography, please comment on this video. I will try to cover in my next upcoming videos. Thank you very much.